Well, good morning. It's 7:30 Eastern Time. If you are in the United States, a very good morning to you. If you are in Europe, it's 1:30 in Amsterdam. Let's look at the watch list that we discussed this morning and see if something is going on. And after that, I will tell you something a little bit more about the thing that I say here. It's for people who are just starting this, and it's saying price action. I say that sometimes, and I got a lot of questions about it. So you say trade is on price action, and what is that exactly? But first, we're going to do some tickers. This is now on volume. I'm just going to see if those lines that we drew this morning are still the lines that we want to trade these stocks. So this is DXC, trading with no volume, but having some trouble with this level of 38.84. So, but on no volume, I'm going to keep these lines in here. So 38.84, 39.18. Those are the levels for DXC. NEO, trading up, trade that one on price action, no difference there. Fords, trying to get above that 15 again, but having a hard time doing that. So the levels for Ford are 14.43, 14.99, 15.79. FCell 877, 851, 912 levels. GE, anything above 1328 is something on the long side for me. BNGO, I want to see a reversal along here like this. So it has to come down to 710 and then back up to 755 or higher. BBIG, small one, looked like it just gave it all up, but staying up here, but only trustworthy, I think, about 412. But if you want to dare a little bit, then you might also do this above this 4 level for BBIG. EPD, the levels on EPD are 23.83 and 24.11, and then to the upside 25.10, 25.68. XLNX, that's the price action trades. WMT, I want to see this candle here today, so anything above 148.28 and then all the way and even higher, I hope, than 142.57. DBX has to break 30.54 and then to the top 31.60. Then PACB, I need this one above 34.34, and then I want to trade it to 36.40. You also might want to short this one, because if this is falling like it looks like it's doing, then a short under 34.34 all the way back to 33.44, that's a lot of threes and fours in one sentence, is something that you also might want to do. TRGB, nothing happening there. So the levels here are 44.30, 44.38, 44.94, 55.20. LSCC, the levels here are for 54.88, 56.13. BPI, anything above 1920 is a long for me. And IMO, those levels are 30 and 31. Okay, let's look at what's happening right now in pre-market. Is there something happening at all? And in pre-market, you want some volume, of course, because otherwise, well, there's nothing of interest here as I can see right now. So this is alterity. Didi. We looked at Didi here at this point. Opened higher even at 5 o'clock. We saw this one at 5 o'clock. We talked about this morning. And since that high here, it's only doing something like this. So it really has to break this negative line here, this negative trend line, if you want to trade Didi at all. Xilla, well, same story, more or less. BGI, this one was up in post-market and then tried to get back up there in pre-market, but then down here and now trying to get up again. So no, a lot of small ones that are now trying to get up there, and I see ADMP here also in the morning, gap up, then try to get there again after 45 minutes or so. And now just this line down is something that you really have to watch. A lot of shots will go in here, a lot of selling into VWAP, as you probably know by now. And if you don't know, and then I'm telling you right now. So here, same thing here. Bridge line digital BLIN, getting up there, and then just this is what you see all the time with these small ones. And if they don't get above VWAP, and if they don't get above this line here, if they don't break out, then there is no play on the long side. If you want to short these small ones, I don't, but if you want to do that, then you can. If you see a lot of fading going on, and that's what's going on right here. So I promised that I would tell you a little bit about price action. And now when I'm looking at this is just something that might be interesting for, I'm going to put this one on a 15-minute chart now. It doesn't matter what on what time scale you look at it, but maybe I'm even better in drawing this, but I'm gonna, if I say in the early bird show, trade this on price action, then what I mean by that is that you should look, have a strategy in mind in how you trade trade your candles. You can do that in an aggressive way, of course, but you also can do that in a way that is more safe for you. Just want to find a nice example here. Okay, let's first talk about price discovery here. So let's imagine that we are here at the beginning. So this is the beginning of the opening. Let's say that it is. And a stock goes like this. So green one then goes down, and this red one here all the way to 591, gets back up here all the way to 628, makes a top there, goes down here on 609, tries to get above that 609 again, but falls down all the way here back to 569, then falls back here to 561, tries to get up again. If you see this very pattern here in the beginning, that this is what I just described. So let's imagine that this was opening, and a stock behaving like this is really a stock that is on a price discovery quest, because there is no real pattern in this other than just going up and down, more or less like an oscillator. You can see that also here a little bit on this one, and you can also see that here a little bit. So this is what we call, this is what I call chop, and this is what I call price discovery. If it's in the beginning, I'm calling it price discovery, and you have these weird moves here, and you cannot really tell if something is going on right there and then, other than these big moves up and down. If it's behaving like this here, more like this, then this is what we call chop. And if it's behaving like this, then you can see a real price action play. And I'm gonna do this also at the long side, of course, but if you're trading something on price action, and let's say that you want to short this one, but you have no levels here. And what you do here is you see something like this choppy area here. So this is what you see during the day. So this can be in the middle of the day, and this was in fact in the middle of the day. So you see this going on here. It's now ranging between 56 and 609. So tries to get above it, but gets pulled down right away. Let's say that this is on a 1 minute. So, and now it's just in this area here. This means that it can do three things. It can stay there the rest of the day, and then it's just chop, and you can't do anything. It can break above that one. Here it can break above this upper line, and at that point you can trade it to the upside, or it can break down to this one and you can play it to the downside. So those are your two possibilities. And if you're trading on price action, then you have no levels. So sometimes I say in the early bird show or in this show, trade this one on price action because I don't see any levels. And if I don't see any levels, I mean I don't see any levels in the pre-market or in post-market or at the time that I looked at it. But during when markets open, new levels can be found. Like these. So if this one is trading in such a range like this, up and down, up and down, up and down, and there were no levels for this BLIN, then you just can say, okay, these two are my levels now. So it's obvious that it tries to get above. If it tries to get above that, then it gets pulled down again. And if it tries to get under it, it just gets pulled up again. So this is something that you want to look at. And if you look at this closely and zooming in a little bit more, then what you will notice here is what you cannot do with those intraday levels is just put a limit order here or put an order here, and if it gets above it, then get in and go, because that's just going in there without any confirmation. It is dangerous for intraday lines. What you really want is some kind of confirmation. So let's assume that this is the 1 minute, and this is 5 minutes reading here above, but let's assume that this is a 1 minute candle. And if it breaks out like this, normally you would say, okay, if this is my resistance here, and it breaks out, I'm just going to get in here and play the breakout. But with intraday levels, these are not as strong as the levels on a daily, weekly, or monthly, for example. So these levels are not so strong. So you need some kind of confirmation that this is really going to be a breakout. So trading up here, so you might think, okay, I'm onto something, but the next candle here pulls you right down, and you're stuck with a loss. Then it's just choppy again, tries to break out again, but the next level or the next minute candle tells you, okay, cannot do that. So what you need is some kind of confirmation in the end, and you can see that here on these candles. So it's under this level. This is an intraday level. We did not call it in a pre-market show, so I'm never going to show anything on Twitter like this, because then you're just after the fact threat. It's not something that you want to see, but it falls through this level, and then this candle here making also a lower high. So this high is lower than this high, and also making a lower low, because this low is also lower than this low. Then you just can say, okay, this is just the beginning of a downtrend, and your profit will be not as big as if you got in here, because look at this, you are on, these are not the real levels, because this is 5 minutes, but just to give you an example in how you could trade this. So if this is a lower high and this is a lower low, then what you want to see on your next candle is that it gets under this low also. So your entry point would then be here at this point. So on the second low of this candle here, that's your entry point if you want to be short in this one. And you still would have made a nice amount, of course, because it's more than $1 move. You're not in here. This is high risk. Look at this. You went wrong here, you went wrong here, and you went wrong here, and you went wrong here. So that's 4 times wrong, because there's no confirmation. But if it falls through an intraday level like this, and then does that again with a lower high and a lower low, then I'm going to put it on. I will write it down here, because maybe then it's more clearly. Entry here is the second candle making lower low. So this is what you can do if there are no levels, and if you want to trade something on price action, you need some confirmation that this is really some kind of that you can short this in this way. So the entry of the second candle that makes the lower low this after it was breaking. So this is breaking, this is your first candle, this is your second candle, and this is your entry right here. So you're in here now, because it just fell under that. Then this one is still moving, of course, because you don't know where it goes, and it turns out it's going to be a nice move to the downside. And what you do then, if this is your entry, then you're playing the short here, remember. Then this here is now your stop loss. So you're playing the short here. This candle has been formed, then you're into this candle, you're in now here. If it gets above this line, then you're in trouble. So this is your stop loss now. So waiting for this candle, this low is lower than this, oh sorry, this high is lower than this high, and this low is lower than this low. So new lower highs and new lower lows. Again here. And now what you can do here is that you say, okay, if you're in this candle here, you're waiting all the way till stop loss is here, then you just might say, okay, I'm going to move my stop loss back to this one here. So you're still in the play here. Two green candles here. So you're thinking, okay, might be in trouble here, but it goes down. And then it goes down again. So now your stop loss was here, and you still, what you can do is that you just move your stop loss. So you cover, if you're in a short, you call it a cover. You cover your price and go lower, lower, and lower on this. So now here you are in here, and you're going to take profit when it hits this line. Gets all the way down. Let's imagine that this is not a gray area, and then gets up again, and then here is your gain on this right here on this line here. So just moving your stop loss as it falls down might be the right strategy for you if you do this for the first time, because if you're in here, then you don't have to be nervous anymore. So you got in here. It falls down on you like it should, like you wanted it to, and on every candle that it moves lower, then you put your stop loss a little bit lower, your cover price a little bit lower. So now your cover price is here, tries to get up again, low here, and you're thinking, okay, now I'm going to set my cover price here, lower, gets lower here, but this is now something that you don't want to see them make a new high here. So this is going to be your cover price. So you can move your cover price all the way down, and you're at ease in this play because you got in here, you're making a nice profit. If it gets above this line, then you're out. And that's how you could and should play a short after it ranges like this onto intraday levels. So that's the easy way of telling from how you should and how you could play a short into a price action if you want to play a price action and there are no levels. This short is a very nice example, of course, and if you want to do this on the long side, then I don't have to tell you that you should be looking for something like this, of course. But you will, this is for a lot of people, a lot also for me, to be honest. I'd rather play the long side than the short side. So let's see, this is now, this is a long, and it does this. People have a lot of, and you know that your entry point is here after this candle makes a new high, then your entry point is here, so you're getting in here right at this point. This is your entry point now. This is green. Okay, and this is now your stop loss because you don't want it to fall under this line because then the play is over. So you put your stop loss in right here. And this one just goes up a little bit like this. Next candle that goes up, still goes up. So there are all the signals that this is just a bullish trend line. So you're getting up And what you can do also in this one is still move your stop loss to the upside. So you're in here and you're a conservative player, and what you can do then is you say, okay, now this is my stop loss. And after this candle has formed, then you can say, okay, this is my stop loss. You just can move it still one low higher. So this is conservative play. If it just falls down on you, then you are in bad luck. But if you're just starting out, you can just move your stop loss to the upside if you want to do that. What you also can do is when these candles are forming here, is waiting for an exit signal. So if it does something like this here, then now here it's forming a double top. This is a double top. Well, it almost is, but you get the picture. So this is a clear exit signal for anybody who is in the trade. So this is a clear exit signal. You're up here. You got in on this point. If you keep your stop loss here and you take no profit, then you are in big trouble. So what you can do then is that you move your stop loss up to the level of the lowest candle. Mostly it does not look like this, but it looks like something like this. Bear with me, something like this. And then you move your stop loss all the way to the last candle that made the stop loss, that made this double top. And now you're in a safe haven, because if the next candle that's forming is going to make, if it's going to make a lower high here, and it will fall through this stop loss, and you're getting stopped out, and this is a stop win, of course. So you're putting your stop loss up, and this is you're stopped out, and this is your gain here. So just putting your stop loss up or putting your stop loss down is a great method to manage your trades after you determine that price action is the play for you in an intraday level play. So just putting this one up is just fine. And one other method of doing this is saying, okay, I'm putting my stop loss just here, just above it, 7 on this level. Don't look at the numbers right now, because I'm just trying to explain how things will work. And what you can do, if this double top is forming here, then you get out here with a market order of and that's what you saw me do yesterday or the day before, I don't remember exactly, 75%. You say, okay, I'm going to get out here 75%. At that point, you made your profit. I hope you made your profit. You're staying in here with 25%. Your stop loss is here, and you just can let it ride, because if it falls down further than this, like here, and you're out, and you still are having this small gain and this big gain here. So then you're out here with your last 25%. But what you're hoping for, of course, is that something like this will happen. Gets above this line, this level here, that it will get above this line, and then we'll make a new run to the upside for this 25% that are still in, that you're still in this play with. So this is then what you can do. There are two ways that you can do this. You can just let this 25% ride to the upside and think, okay, I'm just going to see how far it's going, and then I'm just fine with it. If this was a level, and so a level that you determined beforehand, then you also can say, okay, I took my 75% profit here because I wanted to be sure. But what you can do if there's a strong move like this, then you can also say, okay, I'm gonna just buy in here again, and then you are back in here with 100%, and then you're averaging into the upside. I seldomly do that because, well, I made a nice win here, and I am still in the play for that. I'm gonna win some more on this one if it just keeps moving to the upsides, and if it does, like it goes to here, then I will be not amused that I didn't get in with 100%, but yeah, that's just trading. But if you're loading up again here and it falls down on you, which also can happen, of course, and then something like this happens, then you had a winning trade, you got greedy because you thought that it would go further, and then it fell down on you, and you might just play break even because you loaded up here again for 75%. So averaging in is a thing that I seldomly do. I almost never do that, and sometimes you get out too early, and the stock goes like this. But that's just the way it is sometimes. Okay, guys and girls. I saw that a lot of people stayed here, or not a lot of people, it's just a small little channel. Of course, if you like this, then I would appreciate it, would appreciate a like. Some people are sending me now their charts, and I'm gonna erase these, but without any timeline. So I cannot look back. So I need this timeline here, and I need to see where you got in. If you want to do that, and if you make a play today and you want my comment on that, then you really should say the stock, of course, the time that you went in, and the time frame that you went in. But what I also want to see is the plan that you had, because some people say, okay, this stock backfired on me, and then I'm just saying, okay, well, backfired on you, but what was your plan? So what I want to see are, you can write it down or do it like I am doing this on these levels. What you then have to do is say, okay, and if you don't have something like TC2000, then this is also good. So you can also say, okay, I'm gonna, this was my plan. I got in at this point, and this was my stop loss, and I wanted to go here. And did I do right in this, or did I do right on it? And did I do this right, or didn't I do this right? So that's something that you, if you're sending me something, and people who are in this chat don't know who they are, you can send this to, so just send me the ticker, and I want to see this picture also in one way or another. If you want to write it down, and it's also good. And then I can look at it, and people say, well, did I do something wrong? Sometimes you don't do anything wrong. You can just send it to this email address, and I will have a look at it, and I will get back to you. And so maybe you learn something. You learn the most things by looking at your own mistakes. At least that's my. That's what I found out during all these years. So that's it for now. That's my email address. If you want to email me, then you can just email me to that address, or send me a direct mail on Twitter. And Blin is now just getting up again. If you can see it now, this is live action. But I'm gonna go. No shows tomorrow. And no shows on Monday also, because it's the 4th of July. I hope that I see you guys all on Tuesday on the Early Bird Show. 10 o'clock Amsterdam time and 4 o'clock Eastern time. See you all then.